They see me rolling. Hi everyone and welcome to another recipe video. And today I'm making these super easy Cheats vegan Kougin Amann. And they are accidentally vegan too, because I didn't realise as I was making these that Jus-Rol pastry happens to be vegan. And I should have guessed, to be honest, because between you and me, by itself, I'm not that much a fan of Jus-Rol croissants. They do taste a little bit lacking, and now I know it's because of the lack of actual real butter. But no matter, because we're going to put so much sugar and seasoning in this that it's going to taste delicious. So let's go. First, we need to preheat the oven to 190 degrees C. Now I'm going to take 130 grams of caster sugar and mix in 1/2 to 3/4 teaspoon of salt. So make sure this is the good stuff. You want sea salt or pink Himalayan. Don't use that chemical stuff. You've got to use the good stuff. So I'm giving it a good stir in here. And yes, you do need to add the salt here. Don't add just sugar because the salt helps to bring out the flavour. And now I'm going to grease a 12-hole muffin pan with some vegan butter. And again, I didn't do it vegan on purpose at this point. I was just using what I had in the fridge, and I didn't want to melt some real butter. And I happened to have some easy spread vegan margarine in there, so that is what I used. And it turned out to be all vegan in the end, so even better. Now I want to coat the insides with some of our sugar mixture, and it's super easy. Just spoon some sugar inside. We're going to roll it around and tap it, and that sugar is going to stick to the vegan margarine around. And don't worry about making a mess. We actually want to make a mess this time, so don't worry about tipping it onto the counter because we're going to use all of that lovely salted sugar. And yes, we're going to use all of the sugar that's in the bowl still too. Yes, it's a lot of sugar. All I can say is, it's worth it, enjoy it. And the reason why we're not just greasing the pan but sugaring it as well is because we want a caramel, a nice crispy caramel to form all around those Kougin Amann. So that's why we're doing this. Right, so tip the excess out like so. And I'm just going to give the top a little bit of a wipe just to help with cleanup later. So now what you're seeing here is a brain fart. I am attempting to clean the counter when I don't actually want to clean the counter. So at this point I realised, wait, no, I need the sugar to be on the counter. So I stop and I spread it back round. So that was maybe 1 minute of my time wasted, but not too long. Now what we're actually going to do is take all the rest of that sugar and dump it all on there. And what we're about to do is work as much of the sugar that we have here as physically possible into our dough. So I'm just spreading it out here mildly evenly, and it's also going to help with not letting the dough stick to the counter. So now the most fun part, we're going to unroll our Jus-Rol tube, and this is just great, a great invention. I love it. Watch how it pops. Well, you would if I were more competent in peeling. There we go. So as soon as you peel that paper back, the pressure makes the dough pop out. And I'm sorry, I've ballsed this up right and proper, haven't I? I can't even peel properly right. Let me just get this last bit off, and yeah, you know what, good enough. Give it a twist and out comes the dough in one nice log. You can see the little perforations there, because if you chose to roll it out flat, then it would let you tear it into 6 parts and make croissants, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to take the log out like so, admire the layers, and plop it straight down on the counter like so. Now I'm going to cover it with a little bit of sugar, just so when I roll it out in a minute it doesn't stick to the rolling pin. And then what I'm going to do is roll it out into a big flat rectangle, and every so often I'm going to flip it over so both sides get a lot of sugar. And I'm going to keep doing that until most of the sugar has been rolled into the dough. There we go. Now what we need to do is roll it up into a really tight spiral, starting from the longer side as I'm doing here. Now the reason why I love using this Jus-Rol dough is the croissant dough's already been made for you. If you make croissants from scratch, it can literally take days, because what you have to do is you have to fold cold butter into the dough, roll it, fold it and fold it so you have layers, put it in the fridge so it gets hard again, then take it out, then you have to fold it again so you get more layers, put it in the fridge, etc, etc. And it literally takes days. You have to be crazy to make croissants by yourself when you can buy such good ones from the shop. But me being me and being quite crazy, I know that one day I am going to end up making them from scratch, but not today. If Game of Thrones was a show about baking, what do we say to the god of croissants? not today. And in simple terms, Kougin Amann are simply laminated, well, very laminated, very sugared up croissants that have been caramelised. And don't at me for my pronunciation. So now we are going to slice it into 12 equal parts. I love French, even though the R of croissant is quite hard for a non-native French speaker to do naturally or sound right, but hey, at least I'm not calling it a croissant. That's brilliant. Hey, just give me a croissant. In fact, I love languages in general. There are so many sounds and phrases that don't translate at all. It's such a unique thing. Anyway, back to the Kougin Amann. We're going to pop each piece into each hole. And me being the vain Instagrammer I am, I'm trying to pick the best looking side to face up. Gotta get those swirls in. And if you're thinking, phew, that is an awful lot of sugar, but at least we're done now, you are wrong, because we're now going to collect up what's left of that sugar and salt mixture from the bench, and we're going to sprinkle even more of it on top of our Kougin Amann, because we want our tops to be crispy too. We can't just have crispy bottoms. So we're just going to take and sprinkle that right over. You don't have to use every last grain, but as much as you feel comfortable with, although to be honest we've probably passed the point of comfort. And then we're going to bake it for 25 minutes. Gosh, look at the gorgeous rise on those. I'm just going to shut up for a moment and give you a second to appreciate this. Once they're baked, tip them out immediately onto a cooling rack. Do not let them cool in there because the caramel will harden like a rock and you will not be able to get them out, to get them right out. Sorry about the extremely shaky stand. I really need to get myself a proper tripod. And don't worry about the caramel that's left in the pan, that comes right off with some warm water. Right, now you leave them to cool. Cool, listen to that crackly, crunchy sound. And now we're done, so make sure that you do let them cool before you eat them, because you'll be eating boiling hot sugar and that's never fun. Thanks for watching and or listening. I hope you enjoyed today's video and found something in it useful, and I hope you will join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get full recipes for all of these videos on my blog tashcakes.com and find me on Instagram as tashcakestastes. Subscribe and hit the notification if you'd like to see more. Take a moment to listen to this crunch. Crunchy. And I'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, be nice, and have a good week.